Shalom, I like to say Kahalayim, Wahawadla, Yahweh Basham, Yahweh Shai Basham Rakakwadash. I double honors the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of the well. Peace and blessing to the Akimoni wool that pushes through to the four corners of the earth. Right, as brother Abba. So I'll go through this article I brother sent from my brother Assad. It's a WP wants to give TT, Trinidad and Tobago, EIDs for free, right? But we all know what this e-identification goes back to, right? The mark, the RFID chip, which the scriptures refer to as the mark of the beast. Because this e-identity goes back to like a chip that is used for digital currency and so forth. There's just one step closer to it. They're just trying to make things more digital and make people more accustomed to the idea or that vibration. So when time actually does come that receive the literal chip in the hand, it's going to be in a position. It come like they're trying to phase in that particular thing. Like before, when it had phones without SIM cards, and then they made phones with SIM cards, and then they phased out the phones that didn't have any SIM cards. It have certain other phones right now, I think called CDMA, but it's a whole different concept. But whenever it is they want to introduce something that is bringing something new and then phase out the old, so all you'll be left with is the new. And that new that they want to bring in is the digital currency. They're trying to bring ways in to make the digital currency stable, and then they'll phase out the actual physical currency, which is the dollar bill. Right? That is already the process they're trying to complete now. And when it becomes fully digital, or at least close enough to that point, then they could usher in the RFID, because it done digital already. They could already control your assets via credit. All right, you can't store money in your house anymore and say have a little dollars put down, because you don't have any more of that. So that is another reason, other than it being prophecy, is also about control. Right? You say Aldwin Wayne wants to facilitate government's e-identity program, and he wants to do it for free. He said a local tech entrepreneur and CEO of Trinidad and Tobago based regional e-payment company WePay recently signed a deal with global fintech giant MasterCard. So MasterCard and WePay want to give us e-identities for free, right? Because they are such generous people and they care about the well-being of us and all these different things. When we know, this working towards their benefit in the overall, right? It's not about free. As I say, nothing in life is free. It's giving WePay access to resources and technology while allowing MasterCard a strong foothold in the region. And that is exactly what they will have, because it will benefit them very much. It's a part of that tech is a chip card that can not only be used as a form of national identification, but also used to make payments, right? Buy or sell, right? As the scriptures say, Revelations 13:16 go down, right? It's a point of sale or online transactions and withdraw money from ATMs. Basically, anywhere that accepts MasterCard. It's every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago is entitled, and that the term is entitled to using, but very soon it will be mandatory, like an ID card. Like if you don't have an ID card, you will, that is how it's going to be. So he calls it all, both small and great. It's not going to be optional up to a certain point. It appears to be, optional now, or however it is they view the term entitled, right? So every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago is entitled to an ID card, and now your ID card can work as an ATM or point of sales card, right? So the physical ID card that we have could be phased out, and it come like we go have an ID card and a bank card in one. And really and truly, that is what the RFID chip going to be. It's going to be everything. It's going to be used for travel. It's going to be used for payments. It's going to be used for identification. It's going to be used for everything. is full control, right? But it starts with, for Trinidad, it starts with what? E-identity. It said this is more than a tech story. It said it's the pivots that everyone is being forced to make. It say more so because of COVID-19, which is their just excuse for everything that they're doing to people these days. It say if your national ID card can verify you online, then there's no reason to ever have to meet anyone face to face, reducing contact. Okay. Being told Newsday in a phone call Saturday. It's a government has pledged digital transformation as one of its key manifesto points, and the roadmap to recovery lists e-identities as one of the innovations to improve government service through technology. I know that is the whole concept of how psychology does work, right? Thesis and antithesis, right? Two opposing parties working towards the same goal. So Corona is the opposing, and the government is, the solution, when really and truly the two concepts working towards what? Control over the people. Alright? It said while We Pay hasn't formally pitched the proposal to government yet, he said launching this project in Trinidad and Tobago will, with the support of MasterCard at no cost to taxpayers, is part of We Pay's corporate social responsibility. Wow. An EID like this one, he said, means more people like the unbanked or underbanked can be incorporated into the financial system, which is what they want. They want to keep track of everybody's spending, everybody's finance and assets, and they want to be able to control those assets as they see fit. So whenever they raise taxes, you have no choice but to pay those taxes, because they could just subtract it from you. You can't just keep those dollars home anymore. Say government, you can't even pay. Yes, no, you can't even pay somebody to cut your yard without going through some kind of transaction that the bank will know about. You understand? So usually, like how whenever you have some dollars put down, if you to give this person a $5, you give this person a $10, nobody knows that you gave that person money. Now every transaction that you make, it will be known by the banks. So if you pay a man to cut your yard, they might know you're paying for that reason, but they know you give your neighbor $250 or $300, or they know you give your partner $300. They may know he borrowed it from you, but they could keep track of all your transactions because all of them are digital. Right? You say government payments like pensions, grants, or tax refunds can be directly loaded onto the card, saving people, especially the elderly, the time it takes to line up in a bank to cash a check. And this also going to defeat the purpose of a lot of bank tellers. A lot of people going to be unemployed because of this, or people who just count money. It's saying during COVID-19, social distancing protocols, being able to stay put and reduce the chance of exposure is important. And EID is also difficult to clone or forge, so they say. So tasks like applying for a driver's permit or passport can now be done online without having to show up in person to verify one's identity. And there's always make everything look so convenient and how it's so good for you. But at the end of the day, they would never state the cons of these things. I wouldn't read out the whole thing, but I'll post the link in the description. But they just never read out the cons. Like anything they want to subtract from you, they could subtract it. If the e-identity is your only means of payment, if you have a problem with the government, they could just freeze your e-identity and you can't pay for anything at all. And since everything will be digital, how would you be able to buy anything? You understand? Because nobody's taking paper dollars anymore. You understand the length of control that they could have over people through this. That these are not the things that they're telling you. They'll always it come like when you're buying a product. They just always try to highlight the pros, and then they just put all the cons in small words somewhere to the bottom where you can't even see them properly. You understand? But in this case, they didn't tell you none of the cons at all. But it have a lot. The cons might even outweigh the pros. You understand? Anyway, I don't make it too long. Like I say, I'll post the link in the description. With that, to say shalom. I hope you're edifying.